the welcome on back 10002026 WorldBike, the channel where we ride, review, and reveal everything happening in the motorcycle world. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the new 2026 Honda CB1000, a machine that represents Honda's latest interpretation of what a modern, high-performance naked should be. This bike doesn't just aim to carry forward the CB legacy, it aims to sharpen it, amplify it, and reintroduce it to a new era of riders who want a perfect balance between everyday usability and street-focused aggression. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 2026 CB1000 such a standout. The first thing that strikes you about the new CB1000 is the evolution of its design language. Honda has moved away from the softer, rounded lines of earlier models and substituted a much more sculpted, angular aesthetic. The tank shrouds are sharper, the LED headlight is slimmer and more intense, and the overall stance has been made noticeably leaner. It still has that unmistakable CB silhouette, but the 2026 version looks like it has shed any remaining trace of hesitation. Everything is tightened, sharpened, and visually tuned toward performance. The rear end is especially clean, thanks to the new floating tail design and an integrated LED strip that doubles as both brake light and turn indicators. Honda has clearly prioritized a futuristic look without going overboard, and the result is a bike that feels modern yet still unmistakably Honda. Underneath all that design refinement is an engine that continues to deliver what riders expect from elite-class naked. The 2026 CB1000 carries a revised 998cc inline 4 that now produces a smoother mid-range and a bit more punch at the top end. Honda hasn't chased outrageous horsepower numbers like some European competitors. Instead, they focused on usable power at torque that arrives early, stays consistent, and gives riders that familiar CB confidence when pulling out of corners or overtaking on the highway. The refinements to the intake system and the Q mapping help the bike feel more responsive without becoming unpredictable. The throttle response is crisp but controlled, making it accessible for newer leader bike riders and still enjoyable for seasoned veterans who want precision more than brute force. Ride quality is one of the biggest upgrades on this 2026 model. Honda partnered with Showa once again, but this year's suspension gets updated internals and improved adjustability. The 41mm SFFBP fork offers better damping response, especially in aggressive riding, and the rear monoshock has been tuned to feel more planted during rapid direction changes. What you get is a CB1000 that feels noticeably more confident on both twisty back roads and rougher city streets. Riders who enjoy pushing the limits will appreciate how much more stable their bike feels under heavy braking and mid-corner load. At the same time, the updated suspension keeps daily riding comfortable, absorbing small imperfections without ever feeling too soft or disconnected. Honda has also taken electronics to the next level for 2026. The new 6-axis works in tandem with traction control, wheelie control, cornering ABS, and the updated selective riding modes. Unlike earlier CB generations where electronics felt secondary, the 2026 version integrates everything seamlessly. Each MADI rain, standard, sport, and the new track MADI adjusts throttle response, power delivery, engine braking, and traction control intervention. Sport mode offers the most spirited performance for the street, while track mode lets you dial back assistance for a more aggressive riding experience. For many riders, the electronic refinement will feel like one of the biggest leaps forward. The system never overwhelms your riding style, instead, it supports it. And if you prefer old-school riding rawness, you can customize nearly everything or disable certain features. The braking system also receives a meaningful update. Dual 310mm discs with radial mount for piston calipers provide excellent bite, but the new ABS calibration is where the big improvement lies. It intervenes less abruptly, predicting traction loss rather than reacting to it. Combined with the improved suspension and chassis rigidity, the bike stops more confidently and more predictably than past CB models. Even under emergency braking, the bike stays surprisingly composed, which adds a lot of reassurance when riding in challenging conditions. One of the highlights of the 2026 CB1000 is the updated frame and weight distribution. Honda has shaved weight in several key areas, bringing the bike down to roughly 213 kilograms wet, depending on regional specifications. While not the lightest naked in its class, the weight reduction and improved center of mass make the bike feel more agile than the numbers suggest. Low-speed maneuvering is easier, and high-speed stability is noticeably improved. Honda didn't try to reinvent the wheel, they simply made the existing platform better balanced, which longtime CB riders will immediately notice when they take the first corner. The tech package gets another major bump this year with a redesigned 7-inch full-color TFT display. The interface is cleaner, quicker to navigate, and supports both wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Honda's new voice control system works with compatible headsets, allowing riders to adjust music, maps, and calls without taking their hands off the bars. The switchgear has also been refined to less cluttered, more intuitive, and with better tactile feedback. These changes might sound small, but on long rides, they make a difference. Practical features like the USB-C charging port, improved storage pockets, and optional heated grips all contribute to making the CB1000 not just a performance machine but a comfortable, usable everyday ride. Fuel efficiency isn't the main selling point of any liter class naked, but Honda has still managed to make improvements. Thanks to revised fuel mapping and better airflow management, the 2026 CB1000 delivers an estimated 18 kilometers per liter under mixed riding conditions. That puts it on the better end of the category and gives riders reasonable range without frequent refueling stops. The redesigned exhaust system not only helps efficiency but also gives the bike a deeper, more refined growl. It's not overly loud, but it has a satisfying, resonant tone that makes the bike feel alive without being obnoxious. Now let's talk about pricing. The 2026 Honda CB1000 is expected to launch at around $14,999, depending on the region and optional packages. Considering the upgraded electronics, improved suspension, and modernized design, the price sits competitively within its class. While some European rivals may offer slightly higher horsepower numbers or more exotic components, Honda's advantage has always been the blend of reliability, refinement, and real-world performance. You're not just paying for a bike, you're paying for a machine that will last, hold its value, and deliver consistent riding satisfaction for years. So what are the unique selling points of the 2026 CB1000? First, its balance. Not every rider wants a bike that tries to overwhelm them with insane power figures or razor-thin margins for error. The CB1000 delivers performance that is strong, responsive, and genuinely enjoyable without becoming intimidating. Second, its refinement. The suspension, electronics, and chassis work together beautifully, making this version the smoothest and most confidence-inspiring CB1000 to date. Third, its design. Honda has finally pushed the aesthetics forward in a meaningful way, giving the bike a bold, modern identity that looks as fast as it rides. And finally, its everyday usability. This is a bike you can take on long weekend tours, spirited canyon runs, or daily commutes without sacrificing comfort, practicality, or reliability. In the end, the 2026 Honda CB1000 is a machine built for riders who want power without chaos, style without gimmicks, and technology without complexity. It represents Honda at its best, engineering that feels thoughtful, refined, and rider-focused. If you're looking for a leader-class naked that blends performance, comfort, and future-proof features, the 2026 CB1000 is absolutely worth considering. Thanks for watching WorldBike. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dive reviews and test rides. Until next time, ride safe and stay inspired.